The New England Patriots have made a surprising move. Running back Antonio Gibson has officially been released. Yes, the same explosive player who once looked like a major offensive weapon. This decision is raising serious questions. Was it performance? Was it roster strategy? Or something bigger behind the scenes? Gibson arrived with versatility, speed, receiving ability, playmaking upside. But in the NFL, potential alone is never enough. Now his future is uncertain, and New England's backfield just became a lot more interesting. The real story might only be beginning. The news landed with the kind of quiet shock that often defines transitional moments inside NFL franchises, the type of roster decision that may not dominate national headlines for days, but still carries layers of meaning beneath the surface. The release of Antonio Gibson represents more than a simple personnel adjustment. It reflects the ongoing evolution of a team attempting to redefine its identity while balancing development, performance expectations, and long-term roster construction. For a player once viewed as one of the league's most intriguing offensive weapons because of his hybrid skill set, the move signals how quickly trajectories can change in professional football, where opportunity windows are narrow and organizational patience is rarely unlimited. Gibson entered the league with a reputation built on versatility and explosive potential. His early years demonstrated flashes of dynamic playmaking that suggested he could become a modern offensive chess piece capable of impacting games as both a runner and receiver. That dual threat capability remains highly valued in contemporary offensive systems, where mismatches against linebackers and defensive backs can dictate entire game plans. Yet the reality of sustaining production at the highest level often depends on consistency, situational reliability, and the ability to fit seamlessly into evolving schemes. For New England, the decision appears rooted not only in Gibson's individual performance trajectory, but also in broader strategic considerations surrounding roster balance, salary allocation, and developmental direction of younger talent. Inside competitive locker rooms, moves like this create ripple effects that extend beyond statistics. Teammates notice when a respected player departs, particularly one known for work ethic and adaptability. Coaches also understand the messaging implications. Releasing a veteran contributor reinforces the principle that roles must be earned continuously, not granted based on past reputation. That philosophy has long been associated with organizations striving to maintain accountability standards, especially during periods of transition when leadership structures and cultural identity are still forming. From a tactical perspective, the Patriots' offense has been searching for efficiency and rhythm. Running back utilization plays a critical role in establishing offensive identity, whether through power running, zone schemes, or pass-catching versatility out of the backfield. Gibson's skill set theoretically offered flexibility, but modern NFL offenses demand precise execution in pass protection, ball security, and situational awareness. Even minor inconsistencies in those areas can influence coaching trust, particularly in high-leverage moments such as third downs or red zone possessions. When trust fluctuates, snap counts follow, and once usage declines, roster decisions often become inevitable. The timing of the move also invites analysis regarding future roster construction. Releasing Gibson could signal confidence in emerging players within the depth chart, or a desire to allocate touches differently to maximize offensive efficiency. Younger running backs often provide cost-controlled production, a crucial factor in a league governed by salary cap economics. Teams constantly weigh financial flexibility against veteran reliability, and when production margins narrow, economic considerations frequently tip the scale. For Gibson himself, this moment may represent a pivot rather than a setback. Running backs historically experience career resurgences when placed in schemes tailored to their strengths. A player with his receiving ability could thrive in offenses emphasizing space creation, motion, and matchup exploitation. Several teams across the league prioritize pass-catching backs who can function as slot-like weapons, and Gibson's experience could make him an appealing acquisition for franchises seeking offensive diversity without significant financial risk. Opportunity in the NFL often emerges from unexpected circumstances, and veterans released mid-cycle sometimes find ideal schematic fits elsewhere. Fan reaction inevitably adds another dimension. Supporters analyze moves through emotional and strategic lenses simultaneously. Some will interpret the release as evidence of decisive roster management and commitment to improvement, while others may question whether the organization fully maximized Gibson's potential before moving on. Fan narratives often hinge on perception of upside versus realized production, and when a player with visible athletic talent departs, debate follows naturally. Social media conversations amplify these perspectives, shaping public discourse around organizational competence and long-term planning. Looking ahead, the decision could influence offensive game planning projections. Without Gibson, the backfield hierarchy may shift towards players whose styles better align with the coaching staff's preferred scheme. That could translate into more defined rushing identities, potentially improving offensive rhythm if execution improves. Alternatively, the loss of Gibson's versatility might reduce unpredictability, placing additional pressure on play-calling creativity. How effectively the offense adapts will determine whether this move is remembered as a necessary correction or a missed opportunity. Recruiting implications within the NFL context extend beyond college pipelines. They also involve attracting free agents. Players evaluate organizational stability, offensive philosophy, and opportunity when choosing destinations. Demonstrating willingness to reshape the roster can signal ambition, but it also raises questions around role security. Balancing those perceptions is critical for teams aiming to attract mid-tier veterans seeking both opportunity and competitive environments. From a psychological standpoint, moments like this often fuel motivation. Athletes released from teams frequently channel perceived rejection into renewed performance intensity. History contains numerous examples of players achieving career peaks after departures that initially seemed discouraging. Gibson's next chapter may ultimately define how this moment is remembered, either as the beginning of a resurgence or as a transitional phase within a broader career arc. In the larger narrative of the Patriots' rebuild and competitive aspirations, the release underscores the constant recalibration required in professional sports. Teams rarely move in straight lines towards contention. Instead, progress occurs through incremental adjustments, risk-taking decisions, and periodic course corrections. Evaluating talent involves projection as much as performance, and when projections no longer align with organizational timelines, separation becomes inevitable. Ultimately, this story is about alignment between player skill sets and team vision, between expectations and execution, between potential and production. Gibson leaves with experience, versatility, and the opportunity to redefine his trajectory elsewhere. New England moves forward with a reshaped backfield and renewed focus on offensive identity. Both sides continue pursuing success, just no longer together. In a league defined by constant motion, endings are rarely final. They are simply transitions into the next competitive chapter where new opportunities, new systems, and new narratives await.